Hello, Flosstube. Welcome back to Snark and Spark. I am Emily, and I am popping on just really quickly because I have an FFO. And if you've been here for any length of time, you don't know this, but I have briefly mentioned, I think once or twice, that I have like a drawer of shame. Vicky from Reading in Stitches mentions that she has like a bin of shame where it's like she puts all the projects that she is putting on hold or done with or not done with kind of thing. I have a drawer of shame, which is my drawer of finished objects that that I've like washed and ironed and then like rolled up and put away. They are not FFO'd, they are just pieces of cloth. And it's really like I do this every time where I like get really excited and I'll finish them and I will go through them. If they need to be washed, I will wash them or I will iron them. So then they're perfectly like nice and ironed and crisp, but then I just shove them in this drawer, hence the drawer of shame. But I wanted to pop on here because I actually have an FFO. And yes, this is the back of it. My beautiful painter's tape is the back. And I wanted to show it off because I am proud of myself for actually following through for once. It's not like I don't have finished material. I do. I went and ordered a bunch of different sizes of sticky board. So I have the self-stick mounting board. I got this directly from 123 Stitch off the website. I've got multiple sizes. So like I don't have a reason not to do it. I just don't do it. But today, because I had an FO, I have finished Praise Him with Strings from Lifted Spirit Studio. And I have mentioned before, time and again, that is a gift for a really good friend's husband. He's also a really good friend. And we are seeing them tonight in about 2 hours. Less than that. So I've been working on this today, also just in time. Today is Saturday, April 24th. So this is right in the middle of 24 hours of cross stitch, which I am taking part of. And if you haven't guessed, I am highly caffeinated right now, and that is okay. I have had way too much coffee. But we are doing that. And because it is 24 hours of cross stitch, I decided to kind of do it differently. I get really bogged down when I sit and try and think of like a whole 24 hours of just doing one thing. And so I actually decided to tackle some of these different projects that I've been putting off during this 24-hour window. Meaning I am stitching. I've been stitching away on Book Lover's bookshelf. The last time I showed this, I had nowhere near this amount of progress. So, it's really exciting. There's not a whole lot left. And I've been just slowly chugging away on this, and I feel really good about it. It is my oldest WIP, so I would love to be done with it. But I have brought that out. I've been working on that. I actually made up this little like to-go bag kit. It's got a bunch of floss in it. There's a little tally counter, just like the ones I use, and there's just this little bitty 6x6 Q-snap frame with this scrap piece of fabric that I have made up for my son. If that fabric looks familiar, oh, my lighting is terrible. This is what I had left over after I trimmed Praise Him with Strings, and of course my son wanted to help, so he saw that extra piece of Ada and asked if he could have it because it's just the right size that it wraps around his arm, and he wants to make a cool bracelet. And so he sat down and started stitching after about an hour of pulling all of my stuff out because he wanted to basically design his own pattern and pick his own colors. And we pulled out, it's in the other room, but he pulled out my big DMC color chart and was going through my box of bobbins and then my box of skeins, and then I have a hodgepodge bag of skeins that I was gifted that I have not inventoried or anything like that, and was just letting him go crazy with what he wanted. And so these are all of the different colors that he has picked out of his own stash and out of my stash, and he's just been kind of stitching on it today next to me, but I've got it in his little to-go bag. That's why he also really likes to use the clickers like I do. I can't blame him. I'm the one that taught him how to stitch, so of course he wants to use what mom uses. But that's his little bag. That's going to come with us. He can work on it. Maybe not in the car, but he could definitely work on it when we're out and we have to do some waiting. Where we're going tonight, we will be in one area for a while, and I know he'll probably get bored because adults. But anyways, off topic. ADHD brain. And I'm going everywhere. So I wanted to show my FFO because I'm super proud of myself, because if you've ever done this, I personally have only done it like once, and it is tricky as hell. They are finicky, it is not fun, and I have super glue. You can't see it. I have super glued my hands, so getting that taken care of is gonna hurt. But so the stuff that I used, I'm not doing like a tutorial. I didn't film it, but I guess if that is something you guys would be interested in seeing after I explain what I'm doing here, if you would like me to do like a walkthrough of how I finish my pieces, I would be more than happy to. Since I do have projects that need to be FFO'd and I do have the materials, I would be more than happy to try to rig up a setting so that you guys could see me finish my projects. So what I use, I showed you. I ordered from 123 Stitch a while ago. They have the sticky board. This is self-stick mounting board, and it comes in a variety of sizes. I used, for this particular project, I used the 8 by 10 inches or the 20.3 by 25.4 centimeter version. These are great. The back does have, it's so faint, geez. Has instructions on how to use it along with pictures. This is the size. And this is really handy because this is the exact size. So I can put this up and it is the size of the piece. So if you're like, trying to eyeball it and you're not sure, these fun little cover sheets that are tucked inside of them is the size of the mounting board. So you could use this as your guide. Okay, so I had sticky board. Sorry, there's like a hair in my mouth. Sticky board, obviously my finished product. I also used my iron, and I have a hot glue gun, and then I have painter's tape. So what I did, I had it on my scroll frame. I took it off of my scroll frame, pulled it off. This one did not need to be washed because I was very good about this one because there were so few colors. I kept it on the scroll frame, which meant I wasn't touching it as much as like this one, where because this one is in my Q-snap, I've touched this so much, and this is also one of my first projects, so I will definitely wash this one because we've all touched it, the oils from our skin, blah, 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 blah. But from day one, I put this one on the scroll frame, and so that when I did scroll it or roll it, the work was on the inside. So I've really avoided contact with it, which is great. There's no obvious signs of dirt or anything on it, so I did not need to wash it. But what I did do was iron it. Now, I don't have an ironing board, so I make do by using my floor. And what I do is I will take a couple towels, just like regular kitchen hand towels. It doesn't matter what color, but I do prefer to use at least a white one that's going to be touching my stitching. So I will take a kitchen towel, lay it down on my floor in the area I'm going to be working. I usually layer 1 to 2 towels. It just kind of depends on how hot or how big the project is. If it's a little project, I'm not as worried, but obviously I don't want to cause damage to my floor. So I take the towel, spread it out, then 1 or 2 of those. Then I will take the white towel and lay it down, make sure they are all smoothed out. And then I take my piece and I lay it stitching side down, so the back is up, and on my cotton setting. Oh, I'm so sorry. I need to back up. Before I put my stitching down, this is also important. I have a spray bottle full of water, and I will just lightly mist the entire surface of the white towel. I don't spray my piece, but I will just dampen the towel. Then face down, take my iron, have it on the cotton setting, so pretty high. You can always bump it up if you need to, but I always put mine on cotton, and then I just iron it. I iron the back. Do it slowly, do it a couple times, really focus on making sure you go all the way out to the edges, get those creases out. I learned this technique from Caterpillar Cross Stitch. They have a YouTube channel, and she has a great 1.5-minute tutorial on how to iron your piece, and I am taking it straight from her. So check that out if you want a refresher. It's great. I do that. When I'm done, I take it off. If it's going to be a little damp because it is on that wet towel, I let it dry. What I did this time before I let it fully dry though, and it seemed to work better, was I went ahead and pulled out my sticky board, and this is the back side of it. I laid the fabric on, and I gently creased all 4 edges while it was still kind of damp, creased around those edges, and then went and laid it out to dry. So then when it did dry, it was still nice and ironed, but it already had some crease lines for me, so I already had an idea of how I'd already wanted to kind of frame it. So once that was done, got the sticky board, peel off the adhesive, I matched up my edges that I'd already creased, put it down, pressed it, starting from the middle, and I pressed out in all directions. And this is what it looks like. I'm very pleased. I am very, very pleased. Considering if you look in the back, it looks a little uneven because I was so close to the edge on this side. I had exactly 1 inch. And obviously I had more fabric over here and on the top and bottom. So I did that. I pressed it down smoothly. And honestly, I kind of let it sit, and then I turn it face down on a clean surface like I had my desks. And I let it sit face down for a little bit, let gravity kind of do its work, push on the back a little bit. Then I went and got my glue gun, and this is where that matters. I went and got my hot glue gun, and I plugged it in. I put mine on the hot setting. I have a dual temp. It was cheap. I got it from Joann's, little glue sticks as well. It wasn't a big deal. But I put mine on the hot setting. Beware, I tend to burn myself and always get glue on me, and I don't know how I do this. And so then I go through, I fold all of my edges in, I fold. I will try and miter the corners. If you know what that is, it's a pain, but it works. Mitering the corners is this effect. If I can get my camera to focus. No, of course not. So you can see it over here on this one. Whee! Mitering is when they line up nicely and it gives you this seam. But it is tricky. It's not easy necessarily. I don't find it easy, especially when you're dealing with fabric that is of uneven lengths, but it does make it look really nice. It gives nice, even looking corners, and it does, the back is still ugly no matter what, but at least it gives kind of a nice finish. Now, as I'm doing that, I will start with my corners first, and then I go around. So I picked a corner, started doing that process, little drop of glue, set it down, and I glue just this much. And then I go to the next corner. The same thing. And then I will glue down the edge. Next corner. glue just this much, flip, glue just this much, then go back and do all of the edges and glue around the outside. And then I don't glue mine all the way to the edge, so I went and taped it down with painter's tape. I don't need to. Obviously the glue is dry, it's gonna hold, but I didn't like that it was kind of flopping around. And since I'm not framing it for them, I'm letting them decide how to frame it, I wanted to go ahead and keep those edges smooth until they're ready to put it into a frame. Obviously when it's ready to go into a frame, it doesn't matter if they pull the painter's tape off. I'm just taping it down. I taped it down to keep all of the edges down while the glue is drying, and so on and so forth. So yeah, it is done. I will probably write a message on the back here as soon as I'm done filming this, and then I get to give it to them tonight, and I'm really excited. Ta-da! Oh, it looks so good from back here. But it's done. That's all I got. That's what I wanted to pop in and say. I will be back with more videos soon. But in the meantime, I will talk to you guys later. Happy stitching, happy reading, happy listening, happy watching, happy doing whatever it is that you like doing. You can tell that I am not, my brain has left me behind. But I will talk to you guys later. Be easy with your hearts.